following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. Hey, I'm Christine.
And I'm Gabby.
And welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. Today we're talking about intimacy and deep connections. And I was thinking, Gabby, that, to find intimacy, I was thinking about what Chad might be talking about. And I was wondering if maybe we should chit chat for a second about our non-negotiables when we meet somebody.
Okay.
Mine's a big dick. No, I'm kidding.
You like it deep?
Average. Average is fine. Actually,
you don't see that like first date, like before you even.
Who are you talking about?
So what? I'm telling who am I talking to? Let me check myself real quick.
Actually, I was thinking somebody who was passionate about either their career and either had a career, or if they were retired, that they were financially stable.
That's a big one. Financially stable.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Agree. That's on mine.
That's one. What's two? Chivalry.
I think for me, I think someone who's kind.
Yeah. I think chivalry for me is kindness. Someone who pulls out my chair or opens my door or helps me with my jacket, or that to me is kindness.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, like if someone's rude to wait staff, like done, that's huge red flag.
But think about this: if someone is has like a chivalrous heart, they're not going to treat other people bad. Jason is sending messages.
I don't know. What's my name again? Because that just totally threw me off.
Jason says, when it comes to Gabby, just say hi.
Jason's our producer, by the way.
Yeah. So, what else? That's two.
Non-negotiable for me is, family oriented. Someone who is able to establish, and keep, has a good relationship with his family, who wants a family.
Huge. I dated several guys who were not close to their family. And I guess it just depends on the circumstances, quite frankly. But, if they come from a bad situation like I did, I can't expect them to have a good relationship because that's not where I come from. But I have a good relationship with my extended family. So I like them having a family because then it gives me another family to be part of. And I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I come from a big, close family. So I think that's where I come from. And it was, as normal as it can get, everyone has their issues. But I think another one of mine is respect for my feelings, respect for my time, respect for me, just respect for me, respect for others, respect for himself.
Yep. I also think for me, it's being emotionally, mentally, and physically available. Those three things, and being available is important, because if you're too busy to spend any time with me, that's a goner. If you can't be vulnerable and open up to me, what's the point? Mm-hmm. And if you can't physically be intimate with me, then we're done.
I mean, I think physical intimacy is a non-negotiable, because you think that sometimes there's like that really great sexual chemistry, and then you get in bed and you're like, well, this is what I'm working with tonight. Guess I'm gonna pull out the vibrator.
Yeah, that comes back to the being confident, I think, and having that chemistry in the intimate way. And I'm glad that came around at this time, because Chad Seps is our guest today. I'm not even looking at what Jason's saying. Chad Seps is going to talk personal intimacy with us today. And I'm super excited
to see what he has to say. Yeah.
I love talking to guys about intimacy, because women can talk about that shit all day long. But, hearing a guy's point of view, I think is great. So Chad, let me tell you a little bit about Chad before we bring him on. He's a somatic intimacy and relationship guide, which I have no idea what somatic is, so we'll see. He discusses ways to get out of your head through embodiment, attunement, boundaries for self and others. Big deal, yes.
Yeah.
Mapping pleasure. Ooh, I'm all about that. Releasing shame and vulnerability. See, there's vulnerability.
See, that first part, getting out of your head, I feel like more women are stuck in their head. More women are like that mental, need that mental intimacy versus just sticking it in somewhere.
I agree. So he's going to talk to us about how to teach others to love you in your own style, wants and needs, and how to use advanced communication for more connection. Which
I can't wait.
I can't wait either. So let's welcome Chad.
Yay!
Hey, it's good seeing you both.
Oh, hi, handsome. How are you?
Doing great. How are you two?
Wonderful.
Great.
I love the sound of your voice. It's so nice.
Thank you. It's
Dad, were we close? Were we like, in the realm of kind of like what you work with every day?
Yeah, that's exactly the area. And keeping it saucy. Luck of the Irish must be with me, because I get to be with two women on St. Paddy's Day.
Ooh, I love it. We're excited.
Everyone.
I thought that all my life, my real father's family, my biological family, always said that they came from Ireland and Scotland and they were Norwegian. And then I did my DNA. There's no Irish. All this time I'm like, it's the Irish in me. Nope, I just have had Irish in me. Irish.
You have.
But
Well
not
that's we went to
DNA.
Ireland for her birthday, and so that's a story for another time.
Yes, that's a nice story from another time.
Maybe that's
so Chad, tell us about what somatic intimacy is.
Yeah, so somatics are dealing with the body and emotion and how the unconscious is able to communicate with us through that. Mm-hmm. Just being able to feel all the feelings and understand our desires and wants, and sometimes the things we don't want, and authentically be able to communicate that and pause and resource ourselves.
Nice. Okay. How come I've never heard that word before? That's weird.
The medical term.
There's tens of thousands of words, so it's okay if you haven't heard one.
Small town girl.
Let's just take the shame out of it. I don't know everything. Maybe you don't.
I don't.
As well.
I don't know everything. I pretend I do, but whatever.
Let's just ask Gabby. Okay, Gabby, go ahead.
It's a medical term. And scene.
Gabby's our resident nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
My background's psych nursing, so a little different.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, psych nursing, we're all psycho, so At least
I love when guys are like, I just can't deal with a girl that's crazy. Yeah, we're all crazy. It's just like the levels of what you
I was just talking about that last night, right? So once you get to meet somebody, you're like, can you just tell me they're crazy? We're having a great connection. Things are going to probably go really well. In bed, out of bed, all the things. And so can you just tell me where the crazy is?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I used to be right out the gate, tell people everything that was wrong with me, everything that I've been through, because I was like, I'm just going to get this out there. And if they could live past that, then we're golden. But then I realized I was just chasing them all away with my shit. So I was like, maybe I should wait.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's actually a great question, because it's one of the questions that come up in some of the dating rooms. Christina and I met or bumped into each other, both educating on Clubhouse. And so one of the things is like, when do we talk about challenges in our life? And the first couple dates, unless it's going to be apparent, like maybe I have a tic, or maybe I'm sight impaired or whatnot, unless it's obvious on the first date, you don't have to bring it up because we're not what we're not.
What if you're talking for a good week before you go on your first date and you talk a lot, so where you really get to know like what the history of your family is like and what kind of things you love to do and what your job is like, so we get all those like first and second date, communication stuff out of the way, and then you're going to meet for your actual date. I mean, if they still want to see me after that.
Well, yeah, I highly recommend it in today's dating time. Just going back to what you guys were talking about at the top of the hour is, some of the things you're talking about definitely are critical. And some are things that you might be needs opposed to the critical ones, right? The way I think about it is what's critical is compatibility and suitability. So more along the lines of what are your love languages? What's your attachment style? What's your blueprint? How do you deal with finances? What are your worldviews? Maybe what are your political views, if that's important to you? Big concepts like, is this person the type of person I'd want to be with on, almost on paper, taking out the emotion, taking out the sexual, taking out the physical, right?
Okay.
And then so what that means is then the first date becomes about, do we like being around each other? Is it fun? Is there some chemistry? Are the pheromones okay? Like if you go in for the hug, do they smell good? That's usually a great indicator, right? It's like perfume. You taste it. If it tastes good to you, it's perfume for you. If it doesn't, it's not for you.
I never heard that.
Yeah. And it's not personal, right? It's just, either it's a fit or it's not. And that's okay. Right.
So Chad, I have always thought about my love languages being things like quality time, physical touch, affirmation, things like that. Okay.
Those are mine too.
And I know that's why we love each other. So the thing for me is that I have always given those things to somebody else because those are my love languages. And a dating coach.
Christine, you're on mute.
Sorry.
A dating coach.
You're on mute again. Don't touch it. Now you're on mute again.
Now we hear you. There you go. Hands free.
Okay, hands free. I'm not touching shit. Okay. So I was told by a dating coach, those are your love languages, not their love languages. So I've been always putting my love languages out by the way I am because I want to get those things back. And I'm learning that that's wrong. So how do we communicate to somebody what our love languages are without doing that? Because that's just naturally who I am, though. I'm a giver. I'm a lover. I'm a toucher. I give time. I give my energy. So those are just my normal ways of treating somebody. So how do we do that?
Yeah, definitely. So that's a big part of somatics, right? We're different beings. And like you and I were talking about before the show, what you need and want and what your view of the world isn't mine.
Okay.
So anything you need and want is a request, you communicate it. And some of them you need to have, right? Like some of the things you talked about, touch and things like that. And those can be really important. And if you want to reciprocate and attune and love me, learn mine.
So how do we ask somebody what their love language is? How do we find that out?
What are your love languages? Keep things simple.
What are your love languages?
If they're hemming and hawing, it depends where you want people. I don't want one-on-one people. Well, it depends how they answer that question. So if I ask, what are your love languages? What is your attachment style? What's your erotic blueprint? What are your pleasure principles? What are your self-care practices? And they're like, I don't know what any of that is. I can say, and then they stop and they're like, now what? I'm like, well, Do you know a little bit about that? Or what do you do that's similar? You're like, well, okay, I don't usually do self-care. I have these love practices I do. Great. Tell me about that. And then
do you have a smartphone? Look it up.
Yes. And there's not a right answer. What I'm looking for is, how do you take care of yourself? How do you communicate? What's your view of the world? So if they don't know those things, they might like, oh yeah, I heard those love languages. They're 5, right? Maybe I should take the quiz and I'd be happy to share them with you. I'm like, okay, that's good. And, do you know just a little bit in general how it's around how you like to be cared for? Or do you like gifts and things like that? Essentially, where's your awareness? Where's your growth? I don't mind if they don't have one of the things and don't know one of the things, but are they of a mindset of, I've been working on myself. I haven't heard of that particular quiz, like Gene Keys or whatever. That, it's sort of newish. It's one of the newer ones.
What is that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. It's an example. You don't need to know what it is. But the point is, you're like, tell me more. And Chad, how do you find it helpful to you? So if you show some curiosity and you show a reciprocal area in your life that you're growing in, and for me, growing and improving, it's okay if it's not the exact thing. Okay. Because I want to see, are you communicating? Are you aware of yourself? That kind of thing, right?
Okay.
Like an example I just gave you, attuning to yourself and attuning to the other person. So later in the conversation, right, just be ready. There'll be a quiz to see if you do that. Because if you don't do that, then you're not my person. And thank you very much.
Oh, I thought he was going to quiz us later. I was like, shit,
I know.
I'm taking notes.
I did. Yeah. No, you don't have to take notes. Just, it's right. Bring up a question and you are how you are. That's it. It's beautiful. It's okay if you're oranges and I want apples. It's not personal. It's just,
Now, the people you work with, are they mostly male, female, transgender? I mean, I'm not going to be,
Yeah, they're both. They're both. I try and pick one and then lots of the other one come. So it's both.
Okay. So when we were talking in your intro, you were saying things like you were going to talk about how to get out of your head through embodiment, attunement, and boundaries for self and others, mapping pleasure, releasing shame and vulnerability. What are some of those things? How do we do that?
Yeah, let's just do it right now. Like kind of sit up a little bit in your chairs and put your
hands hurt?
in front of you. No, it shouldn't hurt. If it hurts, that's just more information.
Chad,
deep breath.
when are you going to move to LA?
When are you going to pay for me to move?
Well,
We'll see how viral this podcast goes, right?
Well, I was just thinking selfishly because you're so damn cute. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's do this.
Cute is a factor. But
you're very handsome. I'm just going to put that out there. I've always thought
should I leave the room? Like, what the hell?
No.
Yeah,
there's room
Gabby,
for
you can
everybody.
watch.
It's all right. Join in.
You can watch, Gabby. So I'm kidding. I'm just.
So we're sitting up straight. You guys, listen. Sit up straight. Breathe all the way into your lower belly. Fill up your chest. You're gonna hold this breath a little. Fill up the top of your chest. And just hold it for a little and just notice, close your eyes, notice whatever's coming up. And then just slowly let the breath out through your mouth. And then keep your eyes closed, do it again. Just fill up your breath, your chest, belly, middle of your chest, top of your chest. And then just let it out. Yeah, there's no right or wrong, Gabby. Breathe again, Gabby. Your shoulders.
Well, I was like, is he going to tell me to exhale? Like, what's happening?
I said slowly let it out through your mouth. Yeah. So for me, I just noticed we all kind of took a beat. And literally, if you want to do that with either a friend or a partner, or I don't know, maybe you're going on a date later tonight, do that with your person. Just set a container. Hey, I always like just connecting for a minute or two and we just breathe together. Sounds a little different, but I just had a lot going on today and I want to just like pause and take a beat. Will you do that with me? There's no right or wrong way. We're just going to breathe. We all breathe together. You know what I mean? Literally what happens is your heart's, if you do it for 2 to 4 minutes, your hearts will start beating at the same rate.
Oh my God.
As
That's
you
kind
breathe
of
together.
sexy.
Already our hearts are beating as one.
Very true. See, wow. That is sexy. All kinds of things just happen in my body. Noticing. And also what it does is it gets us out of the fight or flight mode, and it gets us into the conscious mode. We're becoming present. And there are other ways, standing and just, shifting and moving, like a couple of times if I see you guys' shoulders tight, like Gabby's shoulders are a little tight. I don't know what was going on today, but keep breathing, Gabby. And sometimes just intentionally, letting them relax.
I've had a lot going on this week.
It is. And right now, it's just us right here. Jason's going to take care of everything else in your life for the moment.
You hear that, Jason?
Yeah, you better take care of that, Jason.
And we just get to be here, right? So, and Gabby, you can slouch in your chair if you want. I don't know if you like sitting straight up, but
it's up to you. You told me to sit up.
Right. I said you're welcome to sit
direction.
You did great. I like this a lot.
So how do we set boundaries for ourselves and others?
Yeah. So by getting into our body, we can actually get out of our head, because our head is often filled with everybody's voices. And ours is there somewhere, but it's sometimes hard to hear, right? Church or parents or, the article you read earlier today, or a kick-ass podcast that's just the world to you, right?
Whoop, whoop.
But for right now,
us get into our body versus them get into our body.
Yeah, well, maybe you want them in your body, maybe you don't, right? And let your body tell you.
Okay.
Right? Not it's been so long, not oh my God, he's good enough, not an axe murderer. It's like, no, is this a freaking hell yes? Is this person amazing? Am I gonna enjoy the evening regardless of how it goes? Can I be myself and enjoy the evening? Right? Because we're responsible for ourselves. We're responsible for our pleasure. And I love it when I hear a woman say, it doesn't matter what the guy brings to the table in bed. I'm going to have a good time, because I'm going to either help myself or tell him how to help me, help us have a good time. Right?
Okay.
It's just being directive and being in control of our response, being responsible for our own pleasure. But that's noticing what we like. Right.
Unfortunately, that's too often, is being responsible for my own pleasure.
Yes, and spice it up, right? At the bottom of the hour, maybe we'll talk about ways to do that. And enrolling other people, right? I mean, part of what you talked about is advanced communication, so we can actually get what we want.
Okay.
And there's all kinds of ways, and we can get to that question. But more around boundaries. So just sensing into what we want and what we don't.
Okay.
Just like, is your body tight? Are you feeling flushed? Is everything like relaxed and receptive? Gabby's eyes just closed really slowly. I'd say, Gabby, tell me about that. Like, what were you thinking? I
just have a dirty mind, so I went somewhere different. So I just laughed silently for a second.
No, it's illustrative.
I centered myself.
Where'd you go? What happened? Like, just metadata. Like, you don't have to tell us everything in the scene. Just where was it?
It was an inappropriate, dirty comment that would have been a laugh factor. So I laughed at it, and then I moved on.
Beautiful. Laughter is a good indicator, right? Now, I thought we're irreverent in this, so please, according to me, don't edit yourself. Like, we can go to XXX, right? But whatever's appropriate for your audience.
No, our audience knows.
You're being like. This is a serious. I mean, I think that a lot of people can relate to what you're saying and can learn from it. So, like, my little side commentary can wait till later. Like, I mean, I don't want to throw that out there and just like throw it to left field. But like, you'll see. I have no poker face, as you can see when like Jason writes something on the board. Like, not. So like if you say something that I go like it's like a penis joke, or like, oh yeah, just you have to like put it in you, like
what did he say that made you
I don't remember now.
Damn it, That's why you have to say it when you hear it.
Okay, moving forward.
Perfect. No, so that's a good thing, right? I mean, that's an example. Do we titrate? Do we sense what's going on? And like, just something I can't quite put my finger on it says this is a comment for later. Great, follow that, right? And it was beautiful that you laughed to yourself because your body is easing. You were still enjoying it. You didn't shut yourself down. You just shut, like, letting the rest of the world know, and that can be okay. That's, part of what's beautiful around boundaries is they go both ways. What things do we want and need? And like the yeses, what's a hell yes? Please open the door for me if you're going on a date. I like that. Please, on the first 4 or 5 dates, don't swear in front of me. I don't mind it overall. Let's just get to know each other. Whatever your boundary is, Gabby, you can say, wait for a minute. Open the door. Let me sit in your freaking car and then let loose. Whatever your boundary is, that's great. You're like, I want to relax. Like, pop open a beer when we get to the restaurant, not driving. And then, let's just swear up a storm, talk about sports, and hang out.
That's my jam. That's my speed right there.
Yeah.
So what's next?
So somatic intimacy, like, I mean, is it like something you like train people? Like, you train people how to do this? Are you like kind of reprogramming mentally like them? Like, how does your services,
I love what you're thinking. Yes to all of that. I'm down. But what you're talking about here, when I'm with clients, what we're talking about, just correct me if I'm wrong, is we're noticing what do they need, what's the programming they have, is it serving well, do they feel expansive with that education and programming that they have, or do they feel shame and shut down and I can't possibly, maybe again, I don't know the context of this room, but maybe I like wearing cashmere. I like soft sensation on my skin. So I like wearing cashmere. And I'm like, oh, but my family says I need to be really conservative. I need to like not spend so much money. Great. Maybe get some soft merino wool at, is your shirt cashmere? What are you doing?
Yeah,
okay.
My sweater is cashmere and I'm touching it.
I touch myself. I'm my own best friend. I'm good in my own padded room. Just kidding. That's my best friend right there. But I obviously can
please don't be in the padded room. Be you can take the white sheets, just put them outside on a beautiful bed, 4-poster bed on a mountaintop. I mean, let's just set the stage. And we ring a bell and people bring whatever we want for 72 hours.
Christine, we have to go.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. See, I've talked to Chad for a while, like long before the show, and I'm like, yeah. How do we map pleasure?
Yeah. So mapping pleasure.
I'll draw it out for him. X.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. No, great. So keeping things chest above, show us how you like to be touched by touching your shoulders or touching your own arm, Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby, show us.
Just kidding.
Okay, but I'm going to be directive. How do you like being touched on your arm? Show us. Do you like it firm? Do you like it in between?
No, I like soft. I mean, I'm very affectionate, so I'm very, on that way, like, not somatic. I mean, I guess, but like, I like to be touched, like when I'm with someone, hold hands, like arm around, like rubbing just kind of rubbing the leg. That to me is very intimate, especially like in a public place, like if I'm with friends or out to dinner, like just kind of having that contact.
Yeah. Nice. And I noticed there's a variety. You used the back of your hand and the front of your hand, and it was open. So it wasn't grabby. It wasn't a lot of pressure, right? Maybe you like that some. So I would just ask, have you tried other types of pleasure? Do you, or sensation, pressure? The significance of one letter, pressure. And, do you have a self-pleasure practice and notice what you like and try different things and try breath during that, right? And whether or not you do, you can still enjoy different parts of your body, you don't have to self-pleasure for the big O. You can just enjoy different areas of your body, right? Laying on your back. Do you like laying on your side? Do you like stretching your legs to the right? Do you like your knees up? Do you like your knees to the left? Like, what feels good? You know,
this is not sex. We're just talking about like laying in bed, because right now I literally am just going like, oh, that's position 264 in the book.
Nice, 264. I had it as 701, but okay, you can do 264. That one's a good one too. It's called the cricket.
The cricket.
Yeah, knees up.
Well done, sir.
Yeah,
you
well
are a master.
Well, I do that all the time. I touch my arms in a really soft, caressy way all the time. Like I could just be sitting somewhere and I just do that all the time. Probably because I feel like I need I need to touch something a lot.
Maybe I'll move to LA next weekend.
Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. So I am a toucher, and I have to be when I go into a store. I have to touch the clothes. I have to touch the fabric. Yeah. And when I'm, just hanging out, I touch my arms all the time. I'm always doing this. I'm always caressing my tattoos. So things like that are. And when I talk to somebody, when I first start to date somebody, or I know I'm going to become intimate with them, I'm very bold about how I like to be touched. I do say I am fragile. My skin is fragile. I'm very, very sensitive. I like gentle. Rough comes at its own moments. There's a time and place for it. But in general, I like to be touched gently and often and a lot. Nice. And all over.
So let's do that right now. Just put your arms out, ladies. Put your arms out.
Okay.
And then you're going to touch the back of your arm. So with your other hand, now hover over it. Don't actually touch. So pretend you're like a spider just walking on the hairs. So you're really close, but you're not actually touching. And for me, and then move like a millimeter at a time. I'm feeling a little heat in my skin. I'm feeling curiosity, like, oh my God, what's going on? I kind of like it. I want more. And so you can do touch, just you're changing it a little bit. And like, this is called feather touch. A super light touch can really initiate.
So it's like, excuse me, I gotta go to the other room real quick.
You don't have to go to the other room. Stay where you are. We're all adults.
That's a whole nother aspect of our show now. No need
to be ashamed of what you want to do.
Look at me, like, see, now I have to scratch it. Like, I can't.
No. So you know what that is? So the nerves need a replay. So just press it. Instead of scratching, press. Let the nerves reset, because you're stimulating them at a fast pace. And so they need to reset.
And
that's part of sensation play. You just did sensation play, and no one had any pain, as far as I know.
Isn't that kind of like tantric sex? Like where you're not touching and you're breathing together, and
how is that sex if you're not touching?
Oh, I love that.
Oh my God, you haven't had a remote
encounter? I like it.
What?
A remote encounter? You haven't, like, you can be made love to and not touched. It's a wonderful thing.
Like me touching myself?
No.
Nothing.
So tell Gabby all about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the way you communicate, right, is energy, vocal, and via touch, right? So you can use voice and energy. Like, Gabby, feel me moving your hair off of your ear really slowly. And my fingers are lingering on the back of your neck, and my mouth is barely open, and I'm breathing very warm, perfectly smelling breath across the side of your neck and down the back. Yeah, you got a little flush, maybe.
So men need to be taught this stuff.
It got a little warm in here. I need to turn on the.
Yeah. Men need to be taught this stuff because,
sure.
this stuff is
not,
important.
hey, babe, let's Netflix.
How about everyone? Because Gabby asked and I demoed, right? How about everyone? And own your desire. Just say, I would love my man to do this. Maybe he already knows. You're going out on a date. Maybe he already knows.
Does your man, Gabby, know this? Does he do this? Or are y'all just like,
I don't know if I've really given him the opportunity, because like when I like get turned on, like when I turn on, like I jump. In a good
so
way.
I have an idea. What if the next time that you guys are together, you make a very specific point of saying, hey, we're just going to sit in front of each other and straddle his legs, like put your legs over his and put your feet behind him. And it's like sitting in each other, like, and then just say, let's just breathe together, and then just touch, like just barely touch him and have him barely touch you, and then see where it goes.
I'd jump him.
And almost, wait a second.
Restraint.
So, so you can sit knee to knee. You can put your legs over his and his over yours, right? And then sit close. And then just for 3 breaths each, you're going to breathe together. Kind of that long breath I did for you earlier, right? Fill in the stomach, the chest, and the upper chest. And then just imagine feeling the energy in the lower chakra. So in your pubic area, right? Just feel the energy. Then breathe out. Probably just do it for 2 breaths, and then move up. And you move up to the next chakra, which is just about your belly button. And then you move up to your heart, and you just do 2 breaths each. So this is going to take you, Gabby, about 2 minutes. You're going to jump them in 5. You need to wait to 5. Otherwise you don't get your reward, right? Gabby? Yes.
Yeah,
good girl. Well done. I see the restraint. I like the facial expressions. Keep breathing into the chest.
How do you know I was holding my breath too?
Because we can see you.
Breathe into your throat.
This
Gabby.
is video.
Listen. Christine, don't interrupt, Gabby. Listen and breathe into your throat. Feel your voice. Feel that you're going to be able to express what you want today. Right now, go to your third eye. Feel the energy. It's a knowing without having to be knowledgeable. And then go to our crown above. Then, to Christine's point, now you've had a moment to sink in together. You've connected on different levels with the person. You've exchanged some energy. And now you can do a little flow.
Are we naked during this?
If you want. Can you restrain yourself for 2 minutes?
No.
Then leave a few clothes on.
Yeah. Why don't you start with the clothes on, and then after you do your breathing, then start slowly touching, very gentle feather stuff, and then maybe remove his shirt and then continue, and then he removes yours and he continues, and it becomes this slow dance of touching and removing the clothes. I think that's fucking sexy.
It is pretty hot. I mean, usually like I rip my own clothes off, he rips his own clothes off, and we just jump each other.
No, let him help you. And Gabby, like, maybe he needs to put some rope over your clothes just to restrain you, and use some leather cuffs that you can't get out of. Yeah.
So Gabby,
now we're somewhere. Yes, Gabby wants to be restrained and told what to do. I get it.
We like it.
Buy someone you trust and who holds space for you and stop when you need to stop. But you want to start with attunement, right? So, but you're attuning to yourself as well, right? I'm paying attention. Am I enjoying this? Can I be in space with you both? Can I say these things? Are we all right? Do we need to pause? Do I need to back off? How am I feeling? Right? To start with ourselves, because unfortunately, in a lot of interactions in and out of the bedroom, the man is trying to please the woman. The woman's trying to please the man, and no one's pleasing. No one's in pleasure with each other.
Yeah.
That's been a lot of my past.
Creating a new thing, right?
Like,
I'm supposed to impress you. You guys are like, I'm supposed to get all made up and impress you. It's like, just be yourself and, dress how you want, feel amazing, frost your tips or blue aqua your tips. And you look stunning, by the way. You're going to have a great day today.
Thank you.
Doesn't she?
Yeah. One of the things to do is pump each other up, right?
Yeah. You know what I was thinking, Gabby, also, if you stop and think about how much animalistic sex that you have with your partner, That's all and great. And how long can that be sustainable? What, 6 months, a year and a half? Maybe you progress into living together and you get married. How long does that really last? Honestly, I've been married. I know what that's like. So when you are adding other factors of intimacy and ways of communicating sexually and mentally and really emotionally, it might make it deeper and stronger, because
let me say that doesn't happen all the time.
I know, but your relationship is still
my
fairly
animalistic,
new.
jump him. There are when we're it's more emotional, it's more sensual stuff. I get impatient. And I'm like, he'll probably, and I'll just, all right, let's go.
Right. But I think you need to take those breaths to slow yourself down, right?
Yes.
Or what if the let go is just different? You're going to now get lots of sensation. It's just not the ones you're expecting. There'll be the ones that are okay and on your menu, but the mixture and the combination in this moment is not up to you. Mm-hmm. Meaning we can do things differently. And if we're enjoying it and we're staying in our pleasure. So I don't hold NRE and all those things. I think those happen differently than the reasons we think. I don't think the honeymoon's over because the NRE is gone. I think we start expressing what we want and need, and we haven't been. So why don't we just start there? And look, I don't like ice cream, and you're an amazing flavor. Well, great. Thanks for the honesty. Let's move on. Opposed to, if someone's like, I always like slow and sensual. And Gabby's like, oh, well, sometimes I like everything. Or, Christine, for you, right? I like slow and sensual. It's like, sweetie, I got to spin that top up a little faster. And you're like, no. I'm not down for that. Then, okay, great.
I like it all, Chad. Let's just get that straight. I like the quickies. I like the hard and fast. I like it fucking all. But
you said your skin is fragile and gentle. So do you like primal? Do you want to
I do like primal but if you want to, okay, let's say it's fresh in the relationship. Primal is great, maybe 2 or 3 times in, or maybe at the second time, getting more whatever. Right. But if you want to turn my ass on and you really want the juices flowing, you're going to have to take your time. You're going to have to be a giver, not just a taker. And you're going to have to be gentle and just sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If men who walk in the door, take their goddamn pants off and just do their thing, doesn't yank my chain. Sorry. It just doesn't.
How do you know? So what if I
maybe down the line
gently close your eyes and put a silky blindfold on, gently put a merino wool robe on your skin, lay you down on the warm bed, roll you over slowly and massage, as you said, your ass, starting on the outside hips first, large circles. And then, grazing the intersections a bit, right? And we take our time, right?
Right.
And if I'm a guy, I'm like, I gotta go. This is too hot for me, but she's enjoying her. Maybe I'm holding myself and breathing deep. So I slow down.
You can now become animalistic.
And I spin you up. What's that?
Now you can become animalistic. You start that shit.
Now, yeah, fine. I'm gonna put your cuffs to the top of the bed and your ankles cuffs to the bottom, and you're gonna keep going because you can take more. You wanted slow and sensual. You're gonna get slow and sensual till you scream my name 5 times, and the neighbors aren't close. No, that's not screaming. So you need to listen.
The audience is like, please don't scream, Christine.
No, I think they want you to scream. Let's do this. Go back to the room.
Yeah. Let's scream. But right, and let's just keep it at dinner, right? What about dinner? You want the table. So if you want your chair to be pulled out, right? What if I stand when you get up from the table? What if I fold your napkin for you? What if I go out and get a rose for you? Or I call the restaurant ahead of time.
That's fucking floor plate.
I'm not going to order
totally
for
getting
you.
a blowjob then.
Oh yeah, you're getting it.
Good. And you know what? I'm going to
Hummer in the car.
How to do that blowjob because I know how I like blowjobs. Are you okay receiving some instruction as you're doing it?
Just don't grab the back of my head and think that like my
yeah. We're pretty damn good on our own.
True story.
Thank
but
you very much.
I'm open to.
I'm glad to
True
take
story. And for me, that can be really sexy. So let's just talk about what feels good for you. It feels good for me, and let's find where there's overlap.
Can we clone you?
What if it felt fine and you didn't feel airflow infringed longer than you wanted? Right, keeping it kind of PG here.
Oh, do you like kind of like the tap out? But I mean,
well, just know where it is, right? We want to feel like there's pleasure here. We don't feel like we're dying unless that's what we want to feel. But we just want to be conscious about it. If you're like, I feel like I'm dying, well, tell me about dying. Do you like asphyxiation? Let's talk about that. What's been your experience with it? Is all of it bad or have you had a couple bad ones? Being curious and asking what if, like, right? Like if you're like, please don't pull out my chair. Tell me more. You like the door open, but not the chair. Well, one time a guy pulled it out too far. We didn't get the timing right. I hit my tailbone and I'm like, okay, great. What if I wait and hold your chair until you ask me to push it in? And you're like, oh my God, I feel like the queen. Awesome. Then let's do that. Or I just say, you know, go give me my steak. Right.
You and I are dying.
Let's be nasty. Backstage pass.
This might be the hottest show we've ever had. We talk a lot of dick, but this might be the hottest show.
Yeah. And you know, talking about comments.
Can you come back?
I just came up with can we talk about fantasies here?
Yeah, and I hate to say this, but we got 2.5 minutes to talk about fantasies.
Fantastic. So someone was just talking, we have 3 minutes. Someone was just talking about orange juice. So yeah, you know, what if we had someone waiting on us while we're in that gorgeous bed, right? They're bringing us orange juice, electrolytes, oysters. Ooh, oysters, whatever we need, chocolate bar, cold pop. Ooh, she wants cold popsicles. You like cold sensation, don't you? Yeah.
See, I like chocolate. Bring on the chocolate.
Bring on the chocolate. Good.
I'm bringing it all. Bring it all.
How hot can it be on your skin? Because we're gonna lick it off.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so how you can find out more about me? You did see my Clubhouse link, Chad's or clubhouse.com /@chad.seps, and then you can also reach me on IG at if Jason can put that up. Perfect. Deep connections and intimacy. And I love your guys' show. Christine, I love how frank you are. Here's the thing. Let's talk about vulnerability, because here's the thing about fantasies, right? So vulnerability has multiple components under it. Do you have a core group of friends who care about you? Do you do things to build up your self-practice in the morning? And are you okay being misunderstood, misunderstanding, disappointing another, being disappointed? So when we talk about fantasies, it can be vulnerable, right? And you can just say, like, how do we introduce these kind of things that we talked about today? You just tell your partner, person, date, whoever this is, or yourself, right, Gabby, you're going to practice this in the morning or tonight. Hey, I really enjoy connection with you. We're really having a great time. Whatever the thing is, because it could be about restaurants. It could be about being in bed. I really enjoy the sex we have. And I'm curious about this one thing. I'm really anticipating that for me, I'm going to feel a lot more pleasure. And I'd love to share it with you. And I think we can find like a way we both really enjoy this. I think it'd make us really hot. So you share and add context. That's the power of being vulnerable. Yeah.
Vulnerability turns me on.
Yeah. Vulnerability with context. 99% of the time I receive a positive response. Yeah.
You must get laid a fucking lot, Chad.
I get some offers, and sometimes I say yes, and sometimes I say no.
Wow. I hate to say this. We're out of time, and this sucks balls. But, Chad, I have to have you back. Wait, I have to have you back.
No, to me.
On your back.
Sorry.
On your front?
Yes. You're coming to town
I'm
next
so
week.
flushed. I'm like, so to me, so do I. Yes, please.
So, Chad, by the way, when we log off, don't go anywhere. We want to talk to you after the show.
Fantastic.
But unfortunately, we're out of time. Check Chad out. Come back next week, same time, same place. And until then, keep it real.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.